Right, hello guys, welcome back. We are now in week 2 of Into the Light, and with it comes the Mountaintop, which is the topic of today's video. A lot has changed about this weapon now because it can get random rolls, and I believe you can approach this weapon in 3 separate ways, which each have their own sort of god roll, respectively. So in my opinion, these things are single target damage, movement, and ad clear. And obviously, I farmed up a bunch of rolls that we're going to be going through today, and showing most of the available perks, or at least the relevant ones. And yeah, so to kick things off, we're going to be talking about the single target damage aspect. Now, I believe that outside of movement, this is going to be the sort of premier way that people will be using this weapon going forward. And why? Well, it's because of this perk here, Recombination. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this perk from Heritage, as you can see here. And just as a refresher, I will show you what this perk does. So normally on Carl, we hit for 55,000. So I'll just type that in. And then if I get a bunch of kills with my other weapon, and then if I take this back to Carl and I hit him, we do 111, which is double. So 111, so it's a double damage. And fortunately, it actually works the exact same on the Mountaintop. So as you can see here, I'll hit Carl with one shot. We hit for 20,000 and roughly 43. So that's roughly around a sort of 60,000 mark. Now, if I get some kills, now we're here again with times 10, and we hit him again. We get 41 and 86, which is around 126,000, which is about double. I'll have the numbers up on screen so you can see for yourself. But yeah, it is working exactly the same as Heritage. It's about double damage. Keep in mind, this is with spike grenades, so it's going to be doing the sort of maximum damage that it could possibly be doing, as well as boss spec, but that doesn't really matter, of course. So where is this going to be good? Well, obviously it's a very nice burst damage option, and where is that important? Well, somewhere like GM, where you're facing multiple champions, it can be quite nice for that, because, you know, generally between groups of champions, there are enough adds that you can kill with something like your Sunshot, for example, to charge up the stacks of Recombination, and then when it comes to wanting to damage that champion, you can pull your Mountaintop out for one shot, and it will have the double damage, and it will deal a significant portion of damage to said champion. So rather than sort of just telling you that, I've come into this lost sector just to show you how much damage it can really do. So I'm just going to sort of tap this barrier servitor until he pops his barrier, and then I will show you how much damage we're able to do. Now this is without any buffs or debuffs or anything, and bang. Almost the whole thing. It's a pretty good amount. So yeah, you kind of just have to tag him up with one shot, and then it basically makes him finishable, and then you'll be able to finish the job. So you might be wondering, what does this pair best with? Well, obviously, because you're going from champion to champion and you don't really want to worry about reloading, then auto-loading holster is actually a very nice perk to pair with Recombination. My role doesn't have it, but you would obviously want spike grenades in here. I'm going to be grinding for another one. This is just a roll that I got just to show off for the video purposes, because spike grenades is still very important on grenade launchers, or on special grenade launchers especially, because it still grants the plus 50% impact damage for special grenade launchers specifically. Moving on, also into the single target damage category comes its sort of potential to mesh with damage rotations, and it does have perks which allow you to do this quite nicely. Obviously, it gets auto-loading, which is perfect for damage rotations, and especially when enhanced, it's going to reduce the time that it takes to load another bullet into the magazine even further. I believe it goes down to 2.3 seconds from 2.5 when enhanced. But yeah, spike, auto-loading, Vorpal, very nice for swap DPS. You know, if I just equip this weapon, I can show you. We can sort of shoot one off, do a bit of damage with my sidearm for a couple seconds, swap back, bang, 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 bang. And you know, it has Vorpal, which is a pretty good damage perk, which is nothing to really sort of scoff at. However, the only thing that kind of conflicts with this is the fact that Izanagi's Burden shares the same slot. And when you're doing a damage rotation, well, you can just take a look at my loadout here. If I have Izzy, Father's Sins, Edge Transit, having a auto-loading Vorpal Mountaintop in place of Izzy is not going to be more optimal than just having Izzy. Unfortunately, having a grenade launcher with auto-loading and Vorpal is much better suited to the energy slot, because you can then pair it with other stronger options like Izanagi's Burden. But yeah, in my humble opinion, I don't think you're going to be using this weapon for damage rotations. I think its purpose is more of utility, like champion-based killing with Recombination, and also I think it's going to be more popular for its movement capabilities as well, which is the section I'm going to talk about a little bit now. Alright, yes, so movement. If you've seen my previous video, you'll know a bit about this already, but basically, I'm sure a lot of you know that you've got the normal boost that now kind of sends you quite high, and obviously the coolest things about this is that you can pair it with heat rises and other sort of well skate techs that I'll show you in just a moment. As far as movement is concerned, I would recommend holding on to exactly 2 rolls, one which has spike grenades and another which has sticky grenades, or in the ideal case, you'd have both on the same grenade launcher. Obviously, the default Mountaintop from ages ago has this combo, but if you don't have it, just look out for this on a new one. So spike grenades, why? Because the spike grenades is the one that lets you sort of instantaneously boost, and if you have sticky grenades, that's the one that kind of lets you infinitely fly with heat rises. So for those who missed the previous video, I'll just show you what that's like. Actually, it's better if I put on Ophidians here. Yeah, so basically to do the sticky grenades boosting technique, you have to be using the old one actually, because if you have the newer one, because it's an at power item, it will actually kill you. You won't be able to stack up as many grenades as you think you can, and yeah, so you basically have to do it with the old one. For those who missed it from my previous video, I'll just show you again. So the whole gist is you put 7 bullets on the floor, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. It's going to blow me up. I can then pop heat rises, and it'll take me to the sky barrier as long as I hold heat rises for long enough. So it sends you very, very high up. So the second tech is one that I haven't actually tried myself, but I'm quite excited to try and show you right now. But it's basically using the spike grenades variant, so not the sticky grenades variant. This can obviously be on the current version or the old version, doesn't matter. And so what you're going to do is you're going to kind of whale skate in one direction, and then when you hit the ground, boost with 1 bullet from Mountaintop, and it should give you like a sort of bounce halfway through. So let's actually give this a try. So we'll skate, and then, yeah, it works. You can kind of give yourself like a little boost, a little bump. Let's just try it again. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. So I will do the skate, and then turn around, and there we go. There's the boost. Quite cool. So yeah, even if you don't care much for the damage output of the weapon, at least get yourself one for the movement capabilities, because in my personal opinion, that's the most fun part of the weapon. And you can buy the old one, which is perfect for this, from the kiosk in the tower. This one won't kill you with the sticky grenades combo, and it also has spike grenades, which lets you do the boosting technique that I just showed you. Okay, now finally, I want to touch on its add clear potency, which for those who used it back in the day would know that this was actually one of its main strengths. It was used for add clear all the time back then. Bear in mind, this was before they made the nerfs to the sort of blast radius, which you will see in effect in just a moment. But basically, if you held onto it, the curated roll actually gets 1 for all, which is the second highest damage perk on this weapon, behind Recombination, of course. 1 for all is a 35% damage buff, and it lasts for 10 seconds. I'll just show you what this is like. So we're back in the Witch Queen mission from before that I showed you in the Recluse video, and let's just sort of kind of get a gauge of what this is like. So we'll proc 1 for all off these 3, and then let's proc 1 for all again. You know, it's okay as far as ad clear goes. You know, it's no forbearance, but it is clearing the ads, I suppose. The blast radius, yeah, it's a little tough to justify with the blast radius like that. But if I kind of run through this again, you can kind of see the blast radius not really there. It used to be a lot higher back in the day, and I believe that's what the original nerf did to the weapon. It kind of massively reduced the blast radius. I'll just do a little run through again just so we can kind of see. But yeah, I think ad clear, probably not the way you should be using this weapon. If I had to guess, it's, you know, it's okay, but when things like Forbearance and Tusk of the Boar exist, it's kind of like a waste of your ammo, in a sense. You kind of have to be hitting direct hits for it to be sort of even slightly effective. Obviously, it is nice for the higher health targets, but for general ad clear, I don't think it's made a return in that sense, to be honest. We're not going to stop there, though, because I do briefly just want to touch on some of the other perks that this weapon can get, and it can get some pretty solid perks in both columns, starting with Overflow. Now, Overflow will obviously raise your magazine size to 2, and actually, when enhanced, it will let you have your magazine all the way up to 3. We won't be able to enhance it until the final shape comes out, but just do bear that in mind. You will be able to get a 3 mag once you are able to enhance the Overflow perk. The curated roll does come with lead from gold, which is quite nice for ammo economy. You're going to be able to keep the weapon stocked up more often if you have lead from gold on it, especially if you're running something like an exotic primary with heavy ammo finders. You're going to be printing bricks quite often, which means when you're picking up heavy, you're going to be getting ammo for the Mountaintop as well if you have one with lead from gold. I also have a roll here with spike grenades and ambitious assassin. Unfortunately, I don't have 1 for all on this one, but I just want to show you what ambitious assassin is like. It's exactly how you'd imagine it on Forbearance. You know, I'll get 1 kill and I reload and I have 2 shots. So it just kind of improves the ad clear just a little. See, that blast radius is really criminal. See what I mean? But yeah, 1, 2. Now, bear in mind, this is legendary campaign, so the enemies are going to be hitting a lot harder and they're going to have a lot more health in general. But I do think this is a good representation of what sort of high health enemies are going to fare like against this weapon. And to be honest, it is okay. It's just the blast radius is really the thing that kind of gets it down, in my opinion. It is nice to have 2 bullets in the mag, to be fair, but you really have to be hitting those direct hits. It's kind of honestly incredible how it's so unrewarding if you don't get the direct hit. It does also end up getting Demolitionist in the first column, which can be nice for any sort of grenade centered builds if you want to get the energy back just through getting kills with the weapon. And I'll just show you quickly. So if I just throw my grenade away and I get this kill here, you know, it fills up around 10% of the meter, as you can see in the bottom left. Get another kill, fills up more of the meter, and then another fills up even more. You guys know how Demolitionist works, you know, so I don't really have to explain that to you. Overall, I am very happy with the release of this weapon. It does get some very nice utility roles, especially with the likes of spike grenades and recombination. This is a combo that I think everyone should really go out for, which when you're looking to use it for damage, I think is the sort of best option, because it's going to be quite useful in GMs, not necessarily raids, because, you know, in my opinion, I see this as more of a utility weapon, especially with having recombination. It also is just quite nice that it has many roles applicable to lots of areas, especially the movement role. When it comes to movement though, I would recommend having the original, just because you have the double functionality of sticky grenades and spike grenades at the same time, and it doesn't kill you if you do the sticky grenades combo. So yeah, definitely pick one of these up if you don't have it already. And then as far as ad clear is concerned, I think you can kind of give this a skip. Definitely movement and definitely single target sort of champion DPS, one-off burst damage. That is definitely where the strong suit of the weapon is more fixated. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I wish you best of luck farming your rolls of the Mountaintop this week. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Your support means the world. And if you're really into the content I create, consider becoming a member of the channel, which not only lets you support me in the best way possible, it also nets you a whole host of awesome perks along with it. A massive shout out to these members up on screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer.